Hi guys, this is Gaming with Alston, and today we are on part 11 of Home Gym. What I'm gonna do today is continue constructing the weight bench. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This area of the weight bench is where you would put your buttocks on, is where you would sit. Your genes kind of control how hard it is for you to quit a certain drug. Sometimes it can cause you to start the drug just for you to find out it's hard for you to... You can't quit the drug without risking your life. Alcoholics tend to have that problem. If they quit cold turkey, they could die. Imagine someone who is addicted to tobacco who actually needed the nicotine in order to simply survive. Like, without it, they end up dying from nicotine as a result of nicotine withdrawal. Like, it screws with your brain. Kind of like what happens if a heroin addict quits cold turkey. The addict could die. Could literally die. The problem with forcing heroin addicts and other drug addicts into rehab against their will is sometimes they're physiologically not ready for it. They're physiologically not ready for rehab. That's the problem. They're physiologically not ready for rehab. Imagine a presidential administration making it to not only you'd have to pass a drug test to get unemployment, but also pass a drug test to even hold a job. A lot of drug addicts would be screwed. They'd be screwed. They'd basically perpetuate the cycle of drug addiction. What kind of perpetuates the cycle of poverty? Food scarcity. Could lead to an economic collapse. Which means workers would die from starvation. Which means less food, less workers. Which means less food to be produced as a result, which means more starvation. Famines can actually perpetuate the cycle of poverty. And it could create a chain reaction that could keep poverty going on. It could perpetuate the cycle. There's always been an ongoing battle between predator and prey. Even though escaping from North Korea could carry a death sentence, people still risk their lives just to escape. They don't escape because they want to, they escape because they need to. They actually need to escape. And move to a place in which food is more abundant. So they can survive. There's no animal that is free from the consequences. If one animal was free from the consequences of their actions, that could create a chain reaction, which would mean the collapse of the ecosystem. Not even world leaders are free from the consequences of their actions. Kim Jong-un thinks he is, but he's not. Because just like how America has federal laws, there is something called international law. It's there to limit the power of the world leaders. Kim Jong-un thinks he can get away with whatever he wants. He can't. World leaders cannot get away with whatever. What Kim Jong-un is, he's a self-entitled jerk. With Stalin, he was simply mentally deranged. He was simply mentally deranged. He was simply mentally deranged. Hitler was just racist. If you avoid, like, no one can avoid the consequences of their actions. Not even animals can. Because their actions always come with a risk. The FDA has actually made food testing a lot safer. So we didn't... Before FDA, we had to taste test our food to make sure it was safe to eat. If it tasted bitter, steer clear of it. If it tasted sour, that meant it was rotten. It's rotten. But if it tastes sweet, fatty, and or salty, go for it. That's what it was like before the FDA. The consequences you could, like, a collective consequence is a consequence that everyone faces for the actions of one person. Basically, the karma version of collective punishment. Like, the main factor behind deforestation, a lot of it has to do with our dependence on meat. On animal flesh. Animal flesh has no place in our stomachs. Unless you're a cat. Even the most herbivorous animals have been known to resort to cannibalism when vegetation was scarce. Even the most herbivorous animals have been known for that. Cannibalism is not just a carnivorous thing or an omnivorous thing. Even herbivores have been known to resort to cannibalism. This is to prove that there is no such thing as a true herbivore. This is because even the most herbivorous animals, in times that vegetation is scarce, they have to resort to cannibalism just to survive. I know it sounds kind of horrifying, but it's nature. In the prison camps of Nazi Germany, one theory on how prisoners could survive the starvation is they had to kill other prisoners and eat their flesh, just to survive. 9, 10. Nineteen, 20. The consequences of greed can be devastating. 1632. $40. $8. Adultery is actually human nature, which means it's kind of hard to enforce laws against prostitution as a result. Because, you know, adultery is actually human nature. What's going on? Yes, I'm talking about the lag. The lag. One reason to tax the rich is to prevent the, it's one of the ways how we could deter them from spoiling their children rotten. Because spoiling your child rotten can create a shit ton of problems. I'd call Jeff Bezos spoiled rotten. As well as our president, who will our soon-to-be impeached president. He thinks he can get away with whatever. There are international laws that prevent world leaders from getting away with whatever they want. There are international laws against that. the behavior, like, when it goes to competition, sometimes a behavior like that can actually start before the animal is actually even born. The ones less suited to compete could actually end up dying before they're born. $24. $48. Sorry, put the lip pop in. It has to do with my autism. Let's look for... Since barbells are made of metal, why not use iron? Okay, 9 stage. $51. 52 inches. $53. 54. 55. 6, 7, 8, 9, 60. 60E. $61. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 69. 70. 71. 72. The barbell would be about 7 feet wide. Anyways, this should be it for this video. Don't forget to leave a like if you liked this video. Dislike if you disliked it. Subscribe for more. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for more content like this. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel too, as well, for more content as well, if you love my content. As always, this is Gaming with Alston signing off. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more. And until next time, this is Gaming with Alston signing off. Bye.